the Protector, A.K.A. Dad. What's up, folks? Justin Garcia, A.K.A. Master Chim here, and I'm here with the White Protector. Also the White Dad.
Yeah.
Patrick Kelly, White Boy Pat.
What's up?
And welcome to another episode of The Pressure Project. ThePressureProject.com is our website. Info@ThePressureProject.com is our contact email. ThePressureProjectMembers.com is our membership site. Check it out. We're getting new members every day.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see.
It's very cool.
If you've ever gotten anything out of the podcast, please consider contributing and helping support the cause. You could try out 3 months for $25.
$25.
$25. Different types of memberships, different benefits for each. So check that out if you can. All right. Today we're going to talk about this one guy, right?
Sure. We might mention him.
Well, we're going to mention the guy, but it's important to make the distinction now. This is not going to be let's rant about this guy for an hour.
True.
It's really let's talk about the concept underlying my disdain and contempt for what this man allowed to happen.
Correct.
Right? So when we say the Protector, right, this is something that has historical, traditional precedents. One could argue very effectively, I would say, that even down to our physiology, men are designed to be expendable when it comes to the protection of a tribe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bigger, stronger, faster. We're not the ones that bear the children.
True.
You know, we're the ones that are supposed to meet the invaders at the gate.
Correct.
Right? So, if you've been living in the closet for the last week, come out. You can get married now. No.
Yeah.
If you haven't been paying attention to the news, you do not know that this piece of filth, garbage, and complete weakness, by the name Abdullah Kurdi, is a Syrian. He's a Syrian Kurd. His last name's Kurdi. I'm making the assumption he's a Kurd. His last name's Kurdi, though, so I think it's a pretty, right? Syrian Kurd. Anyway.
Yeah.
Arab.
Yep.
And
but all the same.
He and his family escaped ISIS in Syria.
Whoa.
It's true. And they went to Turkey.
Yeah.
But then they escaped Turkey.
They escaped Turkey?
They escaped Turkey.
Why did they try to escape Turkey?
Because Abdullah had no teeth.
They don't have teeth in Turkey?
There's a lot of meat in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey.
So
understood.
So it turns out that this gentleman went, he paid a smuggler to sneak him into Europe.
Yeah.
Into Greece. And the boat capsized. Yeah. And his wife and two young sons, drowned. He survived.
He survived, yeah.
He survived, and he told everybody all about it.
Yeah.
And he cast blame on politicians and policy.
Oh, not himself?
No, not himself.
Okay.
Not himself at all.
Understood.
He cast blame everywhere. He wound up going back to Syria, to his original town, to bury his family the day after or 2 days after. And that's where their remains will reside from here on in, and he's decided to stay in Syria. Apparently, teeth just wound up really not being that important.
So he's back in Syria.
Just back in Syria, escaping ISIS on a daily basis.
Interesting.
It's like they chase him around the building.
It's like Wile E. Coyote. It's like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
Everybody's moving in fast forward.
He's like, beep, beep. Yeah.
So, all right. So his son, Alan's body was discovered on a Turkish beach in sneakers. I'm actually reading from an article now. His son's body had washed up ashore. As a side note, this is the very viral image and picture that everybody's leveraging politically now to get those emotions going.
Get all the feels.
All right. So Alan's body was discovered on a Turkish beach in sneakers, blue shorts, and a red shirt on Wednesday, after the small rubber boat he and his family were in capsized. They were among 12 migrants who drowned off the Turkish coast of Bodrum that day. Alan and Galib were Abdullah's sons. Rihan was his wife.
Were there any other survivors?
That I don't know.
Is he like he's like Bruce Willis from Unbreakable? Like he's now a superhero?
I think that the guy who jumped ship would also be Unbreakable then.
Yeah, they're both. Maybe that's like they'll fight later.
Right. So that's the little decrepit glass guy who's all broken. So the route between Bodrum in Turkey and Kos, just a few miles, is one of the shortest from Turkey to the Greek islands, but it remains dangerous. Hundreds of people a day try to cross it despite the well-documented risks. Abdullah Kurdi said the overloaded boat flipped over moments after the captain, described as a Turkish man, panicked and abandoned the vessel, leaving Abdullah as the de facto commander of a small boat overmatched by high seas.
So he knew it was overloaded.
In a police statement later leaked to the Turkish news agency Dogan, Abdullah Kurdi gave a different account, denying that a smuggler was aboard. However, smugglers often instruct migrants that if caught, they should deny their presence. Canada, by the way, has denied a report that it received a refugee application for Abdullah Kurdi's family. So when the story first broke, many contradictory accounts were thrust into the limelight of media.
Of course.
Because let's face it, the state of journalism in this world is so bad today that I'm almost a journalist. Right? And I just try to be honest. I try to get my facts straight. But I didn't go to journalism school.
True.
But it turns out all these reports that were proven later on to be false were all over the news, all over the globe. One of the very common stories and narratives being that he and his family were trying to escape Syria still.
Yeah.
And they tried to apply for citizenship to Canada because they have family in Canada, but Canada rejected them.
Canada was like, no.
So
we can blame Canada.
Right, blame Canada. He decided, since Canada rejected his application, to go to Europe instead. And this is where this happened. But if he didn't do something was going to happen to his family.
Yeah.
Because ISIS.
Almighty
ISIS. That's a TV show in the 70s.
Is it?
But it's about the Egyptian goddess Isis.
Oh, Isis, the guy, yeah.
Ironically, a white lady turns into her.
Yeah?
Good old 70s television.
Good old racism, systemic.
Linda Carter. Most beautiful woman ever to be on television.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think you're right.
Only because my wife hasn't been on television.
She never has.
And yours too.
My wife's never been on television.
Okay. So, like 20 jokes. I just got to let them go. Just let them go.
Let them go into the abyss.
Okay. So, that was the narrative that he's in Syria, leaving, and victim and his family, the kids. What are we gonna do with these kids?
Yep.
And Canada said no, so he's got to go somewhere. So, the 11th hour, he paid the smuggler to bring him to Europe because there he'd be able to escape the clutches of ISIS. Turns out it's all bullshit. So, Abdullah's sister Tima Kurdi.
Yeah.
Said that the plan to go to Europe was hatched actually by their father.
What's his name?
I'm going to say Abdullah.
Yeah, most likely.
It was hatched by their father as a... Can you stop cutting me off?
No.
At least let me fit.
Well, I would like to, but...
Honesty's the best policy. Abdullah's sister, Tima, said that the plan to go to Europe was actually hatched by their father as a means for Abdullah to get new teeth. And a better life for his kids, of course. So she was actually, now this is not written in some obscure blog or a Facebook page or anything. No, this is actually a video of the sister in Canada grieving and being a complete idiot in terms of like publicity control. Yeah. Like she does not know what she's doing. She threw everybody under the bus.
100%. The father.
The current as would.
The teeth.
The teeth. So the whole thing, she said that she was trying to send money to Turkey, right? Because remember, I don't think we put that into the story, getting away from that false narrative. He was actually already out of Syria and in Turkey, right?
Running from the Turkish ISIS.
Right. So, all the, you still have people that say, yeah, but he left Turkey. You don't know what it's like in Turkey. it's got to be better than drowning your family.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I think everything's better than that.
So anyway, Tima, right, his sister in Canada, said that he has no teeth. Abdullah has no teeth, and it was a problem. He couldn't eat like steaks and things of the
hummus.
Right? He was limited to hummus.
Yeah.
And she didn't say that. That's just funny.
That would have been funny.
But she wanted to send him money, and apparently the dental work he needed cost in upwards of $14,000. Well, the restrictions on transferring funds, probably because of terrorism,
maybe
from these countries, would not allow her to get $14,000 to her brother. They would have to send it incrementally and use different names. It wound up being a clusterfuck. So the father then hatched this plan, and he said, well, what you should do then is you should go to Europe. And it's funny because as Tima is saying this, you almost hear her catch herself of what she sounds like.
Yeah.
And she puts the whole and better life for the family, the children and family, completely after the fact to try and compensate for what just escaped her mouth, right?
Yeah, you can see her realize that she's fucking up left and right.
So their lives weren't in danger. That was never brought up by their sister. This was completely seeking benefits from another country, specifically trying to find a way to get Abdullah some new teeth, right?
Correct.
Ironically, he'll probably get the new teeth. A bunch of people will probably send him money and help him out, and I guarantee it. It's publicity. Because now it's worth it for somebody to do it.
He should use those. Message out. Yeah, sure. He should use those new teeth to bite the gun that he puts in his mouth.
Bite the fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
we don't want to talk about Abdullah the whole time.
No.
But it's worth noting that I created, as I tend to do on occasion, a Facebook shitstorm.
No way.
This is true. It's true.
What is Facebook?
It is a gift from Al Gore to us little people.
That's great.
So what I contended was, and my exact quote on this article aside, paraphrasing or just sharing my feelings, was that any compassion that I would have would only be for the kids. Because they were the ones who were put in the care of their parents. And this father is a complete failure as a father, a failure as a man. And why he is still alive is a mystery to me. So for some people, they don't understand what I was implying by saying that.
No, they don't.
Let me say this. If I am on a boat that is documented to be dangerous, and I put my wife and children on said boat, it was established that neither the wife nor children could swim.
Good job.
So, and I put my children who cannot swim, my wife who cannot swim, onto this boat, and the boat capsizes.
Yeah.
And they all drown, and I am alive. I probably don't reach the shore. I start drinking seawater, or if I do make it to the shore, it is a short route to the afterlife, because there is nothing I can do from that day forward to save my value as a man. My honor is gone completely.
Yeah, 100%.
So my contempt for this man has nothing to do with the geopolitical scenario playing itself out in the Middle East, nor the growing from hour to hour, it would seem, migration problem in Europe, or the completely just ass backwards mindset of the leftist moonbats that seem to be monopolizing the conversation of the entire predicament. No, my point of contention, first and foremost, was with this failure as a man. You have children, I have children.
Yes.
We have rules that we live by.
Correct.
So I decided to actually write these rules down.
Awesome.
So I've created what I call the Father's Code. You don't have to use it. But this is what I think. This is my position. This is not a an oath that I've made publicly, but this is certainly an oath that internally I've committed to where my wife and children are concerned. So we have 4 parts of this code, and I'm going to start off with number 1. I, as a father, will never put my welfare ahead of the welfare of my dependent children. Okay? So I am a father, my welfare ahead of the welfare of my dependent children. So my dependent children are those children who are still relying on me to protect and provide for them.
Yeah.
If I have a 30-year-old son, this does not apply. Dependent is there for a reason. Now, welfare means I will suffer before they suffer. Last piece of food, they get it. I don't. I am never going to put myself in a position where life is easier for me and more comfortable for me than it is for my dependent children. Number 2, my life will always defer to the lives of my wife and children. There will never be an instance where I will choose to live where they die.
Yeah.
There is nothing that could tell me or allow me to see surviving while they perish as a winning scenario.
Correct.
And for the life of me, I actually sat down with each one of these and, Socratic method, I'm going, where does this fall apart?
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of one.
No.
And this is why I stand by it. And if you think there's a situation, please present it to us. Let me know. Send me a message. Post it on the link on Facebook for this episode. And I understand that, you may very well bring up, as a listener, with different experiences, perspectives, you may think of a scenario that undermines one or maybe all of these tenets. But also be prepared for the very real possibility of us just having different premises from which we're operating from.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's I go, you go. We're on the edge of the cliff, hanging on to my kid. They go, I go.
That's
it's
just
not.
the way it is.
You know what? Oh man, I'm going to hold you up until the point where I might fall, and then you got it. I'm going to let you go. No, I go, you go. Mm-hmm. That's how that goes, and that's how it should go.
Now, let me finish the list. I'll get into some other stuff. So number 3, I will provide for my children until they can do for themselves, but not a moment more. So while you are in my charge, while I am the one who is committed and obligated to providing for you because you are my dependent child, I will do so. But as soon as you receive or acquire, evolve to a level of autonomy, you are set off to grow. Because pressure to power is now your formula.
Awesome.
And I would be sabotaging your progress to continue the support past that point.
True.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And number 4, I will be a compass for both their ethics and morality through my deeds. I will walk the walk. I will sit here and try to embody every single belief system that I would have him call his own. So let me review that. Number 1, I will never put my welfare ahead of the welfare of my dependent children. Number 2, my life will always defer to the lives of my wife and children. So my wife is never going to die when I live, if I have anything to say about it. Number 3, I will provide for my children until they can do for themselves, but not a moment more. Pressure to power. And number 4, I will be a compass for their ethics and morality through my deeds. I am going to walk the walk.
Yeah.
So a whole slew of people beset upon my Facebook page.
Sure.
Apparently from Canada.
Canada.
And
Hey,
and yeah, they were like, "Hey,
what you all about, eh?
CANADA." So they, I used to go to camp in Canada. I told you, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I went like 2 summers.
You were Wolverine.
I was Wolverine. Fucking A, yes. So they had a huge problem with a lot of my views.
I'm sure.
And the majority of them, and it's almost dismissive, but I think it's worth acknowledging that it should be dismissive. They were women or effeminate men. So the whole thing is, I don't say that, women and effeminate men, you guys, are too stupid or weak to talk to me, or, you don't deserve a discussion. It's not that, even though that may be true.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
It's not that.
Yeah.
What it is that we are operating from such different premises.
Yeah.
Our philosophies on life are so different. We're never going to come to an agreement where this is concerned.
It's true.
Some of them were actually fighting and pleading their case. Others just came to insult and, thought that was going to work.
Sure.
A lot of harsh browns going around.
Yeah.
A lot of catch-up needed on the MC page right now.
I can beat him with jokes.
Right.
No.
So I had this position that this father was a piece of shit before the whole story
with the teeth.
of the teeth came.
Yeah.
So that was like, it almost makes it, the vindication almost made it too easy.
Yeah. The proverbial icing on the cake.
It's like, I want to continue to have this argument because everything that I'm saying here with this content, right, with the father's code, is something that they would not want to accept anyway.
And it applies with or without the teeth.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's the point. The teeth just makes it a gimmick.
Right?
So you have people who became so emotional, right? The thing that really stuck with them, with most of the people that were trying to attack me on the MC page, was that, how dare you not have any compassion for this man who just lost his family?
How dare you?
How dare me choose instead to save my reluctant compassion for the people who died?
Yeah. What about the guy?
Why do I feel bad for this fucking guy? But it's almost a mental illness that these people are experiencing because it's devoid of any logic and reason.
True.
I watched a whole slew of videos on migrants, migration, and the incompatibility of the perspectives and personal philosophies between them and the liberal, progressive moonbats in the host countries that are all too eager to accommodate them.
Of course.
So one video that was, I think it was shared by Dave Chesser.
Okay.
Pressure Project member.
Yeah.
Dave
Good
Chesser. I don't know if he shared it on my page or it was on my feed and I saw it, but it was about a woman who ran a kitchen, like a soup kitchen in France, I believe. And every day she made all this food and she brought it to these illegal migrant camps. And during this little 10-minute segment on her that a local news station was doing, she made 2 runs to the camps. The first run, she had the van basically boarded and assaulted. She wasn't assaulted, but they assaulted the van. They stole all the food because apparently in these camps, they already have racketeering groups.
I see.
So, the stronger migrants, are the gangsters. And
and they control.
They have everything and
they run
and
the
they
show.
actually sell the food to the other migrants.
Yeah.
So, like human nature and shit,
Kinda
because
like
might is right. Yeah, that doesn't apply, I guess, right?
No, it does not. Of course not.
Anyway, so that was the first trip that this little 10-minute clip showed. The second clip she had gotten a local grocery to donate hundreds of cans of halal raviolis. Halal raviolis. And she brought them to the camp. Well, it turns out that it was a month after the can's expiration date. But now what the lady was trying to explain to these people in this camp was that the expiration date is a product of the consumer retail system.
It is, yeah.
It has nothing to do with the quality of the food. The food is actually good once it's canned for 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
So it would have been good for another 2 to 3 years after this moment. They weren't buying it. The lady took an open can and ate it herself and said it's fine.
Yes.
They started emptying it and throwing it on the floor.
Then they should all die.
Well, get out of here with your logic and reason.
You don't want to eat, you die.
Listen, there's none of that talk in Field Town.
That's true.
So, when you're looking at the mindset of some of these people, when I say this father, getting back now to this father, when I say he's a failure, he's useless, he's worthless, I'm speaking about his inability to follow what we would consider virtues of a man.
Correct.
If he is not virtuous, then he may very well follow a different belief system. Well, I say that our belief system is the one that has history on its side, that represents strength.
True.
And has led to any strong tribe that has ever existed.
Agreed.
A man does not allow his family to die.
No.
Right? There are some things that are more important to a man than living.
Yeah.
If your wife and 2 young sons aren't on that list, what is?
It's true. You're
a scavenger.
Yeah.
You're a rodent, vermin. That's who you are.
Vermin.
You run around, you scurry around looking for your next meal. That's who you are.
Yeah. It might be your kid.
So
now hold on 1 second with the halal thing. What if it wasn't halal? You think they would have threw it out again?
Well, what she said, and that is a valid question, what she had said in the video was she's not Muslim, but she tries to accommodate every religion that she can. She tries to make the best of it. So
worked out well.
So one of the things that pissed her off so much, because at the end she was just beside herself, poor thing, was that it actually was halal. Like she actually found something that would abide by their religious
halal
beliefs.
raviolis.
Yeah, she was so excited to show these fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah,
these raviolis, right?
And they still didn't want
fucking Africans. What do they know about raviolis?
Nothing.
Oh my God. So
yeah.
Getting back to Abdullah Kurdi, there is not a code, a father's code, that is apparent to me. He was safe in Turkey. Did he have the best life? No, it's fucking Turkey.
Sure.
But you're from fucking Syria. So it's not like we somebody invaded Beverly Hills and he had to move to Turkey. He was in Syria. Left Syria, he's in Turkey. They're safe. And this is all substantiated information. Safe. Decides that the resources in Europe, namely the ability to fix his teeth, is worth risking the lives of his family. Now, did he know his family was going to die? Of course not. I'm not saying that he did, but what I'm saying is he paid such little attention to the inherent danger of what he was proposing.
Yeah, none.
That he failed his family as a man.
Overloaded boat, dangerous route. Like there's risk factors. He was like, nah, teeth. Teeth are more important than all those things.
And that's what just like drives me crazy. That he would not like off himself. Like, dude, you got to go. Nobody's going to do it to you. But why do you not want to do it to yourself? How could you live?
Just walk into the water. Just keep walking.
Billy Petite.
Yeah, Billy Petite.
If you guys have been listening to this podcast for any length of time,
probably heard that name before.
You've heard of Billy Petite, Dr. William Pettit of Connecticut, the man whose home was invaded and was tied in the basement while his wife and 2 daughters were upstairs with the 2 invaders, and managed to escape the basement to a neighbor's house. Never returned. Called the police, never returned. Once he got out of his bindings, he could have went upstairs and confronted the invaders. Could have at least persuaded, negotiated his way to be with the rest of his family. But no. The coward snuck out of a window, went to another home. The family wound up being burned to death by the invaders.
Yeah.
Now, Billy Petite is now remarried.
Yeah.
Has another child.
Who would do that? Who would be like, who
would do that? It's almost a facetious question. Like, is. I mean, really, because we know.
Yeah.
Look at the MC page.
Yeah, I know. That's like, who. Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying.
You've been through so much.
Society should punish.
He should be a pariah.
He should be like the gimp that lives on a hill
that we throw garbage at.
Right.
Yeah. But no, he gets a new wife and kids.
But no, everybody feels sorry for him. He's remarried. He has another child. It's like, what does he tell the child? Don't worry, I fucked that one up.
Yeah. Listen, the last
one. I got you.
The last one didn't go out, but I learned from my mistakes.
What does he say? Listen, to each his own.
Yeah.
You know I don't fuck around.
Yeah, listen, shit goes down, you know you're dying. I'm just going to let you guys know that. You too.
Figure that shit out.
And I'll get you too, bitch.
Yeah, I remember. But you look at how these people are handled and treated by the masses, and you wonder why the behavior is so acceptable.
Yeah, sure. Oh, every man for himself.
If there is no consequence, then what exactly is the deterrent to the action? Yeah. If there is no consequence, right?
Yeah.
So if being a coward, if bailing on your family, because this isn't just about Abdullah, it's about the guys like Billy Pettit, Billy Petite. It's about all the men who fall under this category. To the same extent, the men who walk out on their families, who abandon their children.
Yeah.
This applies to all of them. If we don't condemn that behavior, then why is it that we expect this behavior to decrease in frequency somehow?
It's illogical.
It makes no sense.
It's the definition of insanity.
The definition of insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting Abdullah to save his family.
Yeah, expecting a different result. Yeah.
That's what Einstein said, right?
That's what he said.
Abdullah the Drowner.
Abdullah the Drowner.
So, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
We have a pressure player that is actually going to uplift the energy of this discussion.
Yes.
This guy is from Australia. Oceania, yeah. Also known as?
Australia.
Oceanica.
Oceanica.
Right?
Yeah.
Oceania. So this Australian gentleman by the name of Alex Flint.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is a knife. He died saving his kids.
He did die saving his kids.
So,
as he should.
So he was in the water.
Yeah.
Right? He was on the beach.
Yep.
With his kids. What do you have? 2 kids? 2 girls?
2 kids, yeah.
2 girls, right?
2 girls, yeah. 7 and 4.
7 and 4.
Yes.
At the beach with his daughters, and they're about knee deep in the water.
Correct.
And this is according to his wife, his widow. She says, then I could see that the current started sucking them out. Realizing that her husband needed help to get the girls in, she herself swam out to help him. She said, I screamed at him to hold on to them. We kept getting dumped and he kept holding on to them. I thought we were all going to die, and finally somebody came walking up the beach and he could see we were in trouble. What Alex Flint did was he kept them afloat until his last breath, just long enough for rescuers who had seen what was happening to go out and help get the 2 girls and his wife back to shore. The wife said, I'm still in disbelief that both my daughters are alive. If Alex had let go of them, they both would have perished.
Yeah.
That is a fucking man.
Yeah.
That is a fucking man. Alex Flint, we salute you, sir.
Yeah. He fought, kept them alive to his last breath. They were basically at the end probably using his dead body as a flotation device.
And that is how his story concludes. And that is his legacy. That's
honorable. Yeah.
That is a good death.
That is a very good death. His daughters are alive. His wife is alive.
Abdullah Kurdi.
Yeah.
Who's our unicorn, Abdullah Kurdi? Let's fucking throw him in the mix. For the rest of his life, he's the guy with no wife, with no sons, with no fucking teeth, back in Syria, where the whole adventure began.
Yes.
What does he have for the rest of his life?
Did his goat survive?
He is a fucking goat.
Yeah.
What a useless piece of fucking being.
You let your family die.
You let your fucking family die.
For what?
Alex Flint held on to his daughters, kept them afloat until his last breath, until rescuers were able to remove the daughters from his grip to save them and bring them ashore. He died when they did.
Yeah.
Maybe he saves one daughter and he can make it back. Maybe everybody understands he did all he could. And he gets the compassion of a world like fucking Abdullah the drowner. But no, he says these are my girls.
Yeah.
I'm their dad. My life means nothing when compared to theirs.
Probably didn't even think about himself at all.
At all.
Not even for a second.
That's a man.
Yeah.
That's a protector. That's a dad.
At what point do you stop? You know, think about it. You're in the water. And it's not like this guy put these people, he didn't take his kids, put them in dangerous water. He's like, all right, guys, today we're going to learn how to swim dangerous. No, they were just cooling off, not even knee deep. And the current got them. It happens.
I was discussing with my wife about Abdullah.
Yeah.
Right. I said, do you realize that at some point in this scenario, as it's going down, the boat capsizes, at some point, he stops looking for them.
Yeah, at some point he does.
And he holds on.
Yep.
There reached a point where he said, nope, gotta save me. So this is the process that I'm trying to walk people through.
Yeah.
I don't think that he didn't love his wife or his sons. Some guys are saying, oh, fucking Arabs from the Middle East, they don't give a fuck. Women are property, kids. Listen.
Who knows?
But I don't need that.
Yeah, I know.
You know, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We could say he loved his fucking kids to death, which actually makes it worse when you walk through the process.
Yeah.
Because he still got to the point where he said, I'm not looking for them anymore. They're gone.
He did.
Might as well save me.
Yeah, might as well live. I got teeth waiting for me. So you're on the beach and your son's getting pulled off into the current, right? And you're swimming after him. He's getting farther away. You're swimming. He's getting farther away. What point you're like, you know what? See you. Like, it doesn't happen.
A shark.
Yeah.
Could be attacking my son.
Yeah.
I'm jumping in the water to fight a shark.
Yes.
My son falls into a gorilla cage.
Yes.
Guess I'm fighting a gorilla today.
Yeah.
There is no situation. You know, none. There's no situation where I don't fucking save my kids.
Yeah.
And don't give a fuck about my life in the process.
True. It also reminds me, remember the lady who got chewed up by the escalator? At least she pushed her kid out of the way.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a lady in China, I think that was.
The floor opened up. She fell in, but she pushed her kid out of the way. And she got ground up. But I mean, at least had the wherewithal to do that.
And you know, I think it's obviously different between men and women because of the roles, the functions in the cycle of life, right? The metaphor I've always used, especially in the loyalty matrix, is, you know, when the invaders are at the door, the men go to meet them, the women go to protect the children.
Yeah.
And it's not that the men or the women are any more or less committed to protecting the children. It's just the priority and order in which that protection is to be provided.
Correct. You know,
the men should be willing and able to give their lives to protect their children because ultimately they want to save the generations to follow.
Correct.
They want to save the legacy, the bloodline, if you want to be biological about it, right?
Yeah.
So for men to not have a basic sort of instinct to give your life to protect the life of your children, your wife and your children, because we can't just, overlook the fact that it's wife drowned too.
Yeah.
You are
not a man.
You are not a man. You are a flawed human.
Yeah.
Right? You are programmed incorrectly.
Correct.
You are a virus in humanity.
Agreed.
I don't feel bad for this man. When I saw the picture of the little boy on the beach, do I feel compassion for that boy? I feel contempt for his father. That's 100%. That man is all that little boy had protecting him.
Yep.
And that's how he wound up.
Yeah.
It's easy to get sort of pulled in and enraptured by the visual of this poor young boy on this beach. It's powerful. I have sons of my own. I understand that. That aspect of the experience that people are sharing, I can sympathize with you. I can. But please understand that little boys die like that every day all over the world.
They do.
Right? If we're going to have a seat at the big boy table and we're going to look at the big picture, we cannot allow our politics to be dissuaded by a visual of a very leveraged now propaganda piece. There are boys like that unfortunately die every day. But they're not our boys.
Yeah.
And that little distinction is powerful. He's supposed to protect his sons. We're supposed to protect ours. Following these rules, everybody relies on themselves. Following these rules, it's a lot easier to help people because they won't take 1 ounce of help more than they need.
Correct.
Because they want to be autonomous. Because that's how they were raised. They followed the father's code.
Yeah, 100%.
The protector.
Yeah.
A.K.A. dad. Break it down, Patrick, please.
So, 2 on Tom says, what's my job? To make sure you grow up to be a good man, right? To his sons. The first part of that is to make sure you grow up. So, my first job is to make sure my kids grow up. That's the first thing that needs to happen. That's my primary job. Everything I do has to do with that. Make sure they grow up, keep them safe, keep them alive. The list is 100% correct. All the things on the list, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that they have a code of ethics. They understand what's right, what's wrong, how to be strong, how to be powerful, so that they, when they grow up, can do the same job for their kids. But it all starts with making sure they grow up. If you can't do that, you're worthless.
Well said. Might is right. Strength is what allows one to overcome struggle. Strength, therefore, is a product of struggle. There is nothing that could ever make me quit on my children. That is my primary purpose. One could argue, biologically, that is all of our purposes, our legacy, our bloodline, keeping ourselves alive through the chain of blood. To not do everything in your power to accommodate that makes you a flawed person. I'm going to die before my children. What's the difference if I die for them today or if I die for them before them 50 years from now? If today I can make sure that they live in the process. It's all about them. As a father, I'm their protector. I'm the best they got. And every day I strive to be better. To the men out there, and this is certainly not just reduced to this Abdullah the Drowner, to the men out there who do not take their responsibilities, their obligations seriously as a protector, as a provider, as a father, as a husband, understand that you are on the wrong side of the ancestry that has led you to even exist. Thank you, folks, for listening to this episode. Getting fired up, Pat.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys spending time with us. Remember, the pressureproject.com is our website. Go there. Check this episode out. Check the notes out. Feel free to join the pressureprojectmembers.com. We have a good forum there going on.
It's legit.
Legacy Matrix. We got the Warrior Continuum coming out.
Yep.
I try to be consistent, folks. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I fuck up from time to time. But I'm always going to be honest about it. And I'm always going to unfuck myself when I can.
Yep. 100%.
And that's all I could ever expect anybody else to be. All right. Thank you, brothers. We enjoyed this talk. We look forward to speaking to you again on the next episode. And as always, pressure to power.